Is it water with the sheep in the box?
I know what you're thinking here. Matt, you're thinking, why do you keep returning to the Butterfield well so often? What is it about him that you find so utterly fascinating? Well, dear viewer, I'll tell you. Quite frankly, it's because I find him entertainingly dumb, as well as strangely, frustratingly reticent to consider himself a reactionary, or in any way bigoted, despite the fact that his output seems to mostly revolve around shitting on fat people, vegans, LGBTQ+ people, and women who are too uppity, all the while refusing to change his output. I think it's the duality of Butterfield, really, simultaneously wanting to not have his political views accurately described, but also being the proud creator of such works as... Wait, where's that music coming from?
White influencer identifies as a non-binary Korean. This woman identifies as a gender-fluid demon doll. This woman thinks she is a wolf. Vegan activist identifies as broccoli. Star Wars introduces a transgender Jedi, with this rather delightful thumbnail here. Men are terrified of dating feminists. Here's why. 30 ways this feminist scares men. Why publishers want to censor Jordan Peterson. The problem with modern femininity. Worst feminists on TikTok. Why are millennials offended by everything? How to be a lady, according to feminists. Feminism is destroying comedy. Why women are not funny. Hairy feminist demands you love periods. Why I hate the body positivity movement. Reverse racism is real and dangerous. Oh, Isaac, did someone call you a cracker and did it hurt your feelings? Crazy, angry soy boy hates me. Hairy, angry, feminist, vegan, cyclist. He's just thrown a load of different adjectives together there. A man learns about feminist sex. This hungry fat chick must be stopped. Why you should fat shame. And, of course, the classic of the genre. Why I hate feminism. Wow, doesn't he just seem like such a nice guy? Such a good guy. Just the type of guy I'd love to go to the pub and have a beer with. And then watch him drive home after. God, that's a bit too morbid, isn't it?
Now, there's a lot one could say about Butterfield, from the fact that his brand of comedy seems to revolve around performatively telling other people how to live their lives, despite being the sort of person who gets absurdly angry about a transgender on the internet, to his really clear insecurity about masculinity and apparent unwillingness or inability to examine or explore it, especially regarding his beard and his dick, which he talks about constantly. A completely normal and healthy amount, and not the sort of thing that would make you wonder if he's compensating for something. But no, what I want to talk about today is the strangely prevalent idea among YouTubers that sex workers, people on OnlyFans, etc. are in some way inferior, don't have a real job, or are refusing to grow up, and crucially, their art and the stuff they post online is somehow not real content and or easy money or something, whilst refusing to really stop to think about why they feel that way. After all, let's be honest here, what really is the difference between a YouTuber and an OnlyFans model?
So many of these people are making millions off what they call content. And I say content because it's not fucking content.
People like Isaac, who definitely have a healthy attitude towards sex and don't hate and fear women expressing their sexuality in ways that don't adhere to centuries-old misogynistic views and ideas about how women should act, have a real problem with sex workers for some reason, despite basically having the exact same job as them, as we saw when iDubbbz's girlfriend decided to start posting on OnlyFans and people like this guy Kavos lost their shit and posted video after video calling iDubbbz a simp and a cuck, apparently not knowing what those words mean, but didn't do the same for iDubbbz himself's incredibly lowbrow content and low-effort edgelord cringe shit, because that's somehow real content, I guess.
If you haven't seen this video already, for me, it's probably one of the worst iDubbbz videos I've ever watched. And you know why? Because it involves this hoe. And you might be thinking, Kavos, that's a bit harsh, calling her a hoe. Please just wait Watch the video. So iDubbbz made a video addressing the OnlyFans drama. If you don't know, iDubbbz's girlfriend made an OnlyFans account and the simp memes were glorious. Everyone was memeing on iDubbbz, calling him a simp because his girlfriend was selling her body to get paid.
Not like creating a porn scene for your OnlyFans page. I mean, that doesn't require any level of skill or effort, right? Well, let's examine what Isaac claims makes his content superior, shall we?
Hey babe, I'm just working really hard on producing content this afternoon. Oh, that sounds great. What type of content are you producing this afternoon? I'm gonna lay on the bed me parents bought me and finger myself until someone sends me $100. I'm sorry, I get the shits with that. That's not fucking content, alright?
Alright, that seems pretty straightforward and also obvious bullshit, so let's break it down. First off, the way he frames it is obviously dishonest. Like, yeah, no shit. If you describe it like that, anything can sound bad. Here, let me demonstrate. Hi babe, I'm just gonna work hard at my job this afternoon. Oh, that sounds great. What kind of work are you producing this afternoon? I'm gonna stand in my basement and get really mad on camera about women until someone sends me money. Yeah, see, this is kind of the point, right? If you disparage a sex worker's job for being easy, you necessarily then have to define what counts as a difficult job. Because if what you disparage as an easy job can be used to describe your own career, then, well, you're gonna look like a bit of a dickhead, aren't you? But hypocrisy is the name of the game here. YouTubers simply cannot accept that what sex workers do is analogous to their own livelihoods, because then they might have to reflect on why they hate sex workers so much. After all, there are definitely YouTubers who sit on their bed making content that I'm sure Butterfield probably would consider content, because, well, YouTubers, just like sex workers, are just ordinary people making content for money or for fun, and some ordinary people do live at home for a number of reasons, one of them being economic insecurity, and it seems a little unnecessary to shame people for being poor. But again, the issue is the sex work part somehow. Funny that, hey. Anyway, helpfully Butterfield then goes on to describe his work process, so I guess let's take a listen to that. Here, in Butterfield's own words, is his creative process, which he believes is in some way superior to that of a sex worker, and judging by the response, so do the overwhelming majority of people who watched the video.
This is my 5th video this week. I don't know, whatever. If you don't like me, good, suck us off. I don't give a fuck. The point is, 5th video this week, 6th if you include the second channel, the Buttsman 2. These videos are written, they're then filmed, they're produced, they're then sent off to an editor, and then editor Josh sends it to Thumbnail Zach, and Thumbnail Zach comes to me with the thumbnails, and then we upload it for the people. That's content. Fucking like and subscribe now. But spreading your fishy fucked flaps for some dickhead who you've never met and recording it on your iPhone 8 is not fucking content. Grow up and get a job, you bastards.
I think you can probably guess what's coming here, but let's get into it. Can this reasoning be applied to sex workers who are apparently lazy entitled harlots who've never done an honest day's work in their life, unlike edgy YouTubers? First off, output. Now, obviously this depends just as much for OnlyFans models as it does for YouTubers. After all, H-Bomber Guy doesn't post many videos, but at this point everyone he does post is a feature-length documentary, and I doubt that anyone will be dumb enough to claim that what he makes is not real content. But literally a few seconds googling will answer the question of how often OnlyFans models post. After all, OnlyFans, like YouTube, is dominated by an algorithm that favours regularly uploaded content, and due to the subscription model, people are more likely to subscribe if they're getting more regular content. The average, at least that I've seen from looking into OnlyFans forums, seems to be once a day, so if we assume that they take weekends off, OnlyFans models probably post as much, if not more, than Isaac on average, and of course there will be some who massively outproduce him. Then we have the weird part about videos are written, filmed and produced, because, like, what does he think porn is? Sure, maybe porn videos or photos aren't written in the same sense of video about how a trans Jedi ruined Star Wars, or the multiple attack helicopter jokes he seems to love might be, but there's a huge amount of preparation, framing, lighting, etc. that can go into producing that kind of content, not to mention the actual act of sex, which can be physically, mentally and emotionally taxing depending on what scene is being filmed, which of course Isaac doesn't have to do. He can just stand in front of his bookcase, which doesn't have any books on it, whilst, wait a minute, hang on a minute, I'm just gonna have to take a brief aside to admire the rather beautiful mise-en-scène here. So we've got a portrait of himself as the Joker, a bobblehead of himself, some cowboy boots with his face on, a vinyl figure of Conor McGregor, a bunch of whiskey, a novelty Simpsons mug, a Pikachu plush, a hat that says moist on it, and a bunch of other space-filling paraphernalia like this jar thing, a globe, and a drinking horn. Oh, and a bunch of things that say "me dick stanks" on, because I guess that's his catchphrase or something. And this guy is lecturing other people on growing up. His bookshelf is identical to that of many 19-year-old college students who think showing off about the fact that his section likes the occasional alcoholic beverage is the height of cool, which is especially amusing when you remember that he's proper laying into women who express themselves sexually on the internet. Anyway, tangent aside, I just couldn't resist it, it's so absurd. Point is, Isaac can stand in front of this shrine to himself and talk to the camera about how vegans are dumb or something for 10 minutes and doesn't have to do cleanup, preparation, perform sex for an audience and so on. The rest of the stuff is just pretty standard for the visual medium. Yeah, mate, sex workers, at least those that work with video, though there's a lot of overlap between photo and video content in this respect, also film and produce their content, otherwise how would people ever see it? What is that point even supposed to be? The interesting part is the fact that Butterfield doesn't even edit his own video footage or make his thumbnails himself, instead hiring other people to do that stuff, which I don't necessarily blame him for. After all, I imagine it is a lot of work making 5 YouTube videos a week. That's almost an entire hour of complaining about groups of people you don't like on the internet, but it does seem kinda hypocritical when accusing other people of being lazy to then also outsource arguably the hardest or least enjoyable parts of content creation, right? He doesn't even really have that much fancy editing. I don't know why he doesn't do it himself, but hey, I guess it is what it is. Thing is, this is absolutely the same kind of process sex workers will go through after filming their scene because it's the exact same medium. You need to keep the video visually interesting, show the good parts, color correct, cut out unnecessary parts, and make it a more cohesive experience that flows from beginning to end, just like a ranty YouTube video where you add in little editing tricks to draw the eye to the screen, edit out flubbed lines or bits where you go and because you had a mind blank moment. The only difference between Isaac's process and that of an OnlyFans model, other than the content of the videos being edited, is that, well, being a medium that is primarily made up of small independent creators without the budgets or connections to pay editors, many OnlyFans creators will edit their own videos and upload their own thumbnails, just like I do, because they, like me, may enjoy the process and may not have the money to outsource parts of the process they don't feel like doing. It is slightly more complex than that because OnlyFans' thumbnail process is a little different to YouTube's, but functionally it's the same. But again, there will be some successful people who have a similar process to Isaac, who use their OnlyFans income to outsource some of the work in the same way he uses his YouTube income to do so. As it turns out, some OnlyFans creators may be more of a content creator than the content gatekeeper himself here. Who could have guessed, eh? Well, anyone with critical thinking skills, I guess, but perhaps that's a little too much to ask from people like Isaac.
280,000 people went onto YouTube and said, you know what? I've got no skills. Here's my cunt. Can I have $6 a month, please? And here's why I'm making fun of this, is because it's not a career path. You make quick cash. It's the path of least resistance. It's easy. It's not a challenge, and you're probably going to fuck up your kid's life if you ever have them.
All this to say that, let's be honest here, the job of being a YouTuber is overwhelmingly similar to that of a sex worker, but without the sex, and with a pathetically inflated ego. There is functionally no difference between a streamer on Twitch as opposed to a streamer on a live porn service, and posting on OnlyFans isn't really unlike posting to YouTube, with the added caveat that at least when OnlyFans models post content, they're honest about their relationship with their audience. Having said that, of course, OnlyFans creators do have to manage the negative effects of parasocial relationships their fans have with them, in contrast to Butterfield, who's pretty blatantly just actively exploiting those relationships for fun and profit, meaning that in a way he and other figures like him may benefit from this relationship where an OnlyFans creator may not, although that's not to say that online sex workers never exploit their relationship with their fans, just that there seems to be a bit of a double standard when comparing the parasociality of YouTubers' relationships with their audience to that of online sex workers. When Butterfield shills his merch or tries to sell tickets to his live comedy shows, he's playing on the exact kind of parasocial relationship he criticizes sex workers for exploiting for OnlyFans subscriptions, but when he asks you to join his premium service, he doesn't explicitly say come give me money in order to feel like you've gained approval from someone you admire, buy my merch so you can feel like you're in a special club, but that's what he's doing.
But I'll tell you what, if you want to put your eggs in one basket, put it in mine. Come over to Butsman Premium, ladies and gentlemen. It's the best time to be alive, and there's no cocks, all right? There's no nudity, there's no vaginas, but you do get an extra podcast every single week, a members-only podcast, a members-only Discord. You get 15% off merch. Go and check it out. The link is down below. Be a good motherfucker. Peace in the Middle East. Be extinct. Toodle. Blah, 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 blah.
In what way is that less exploitative than a sex worker saying, give me a subscription on OnlyFans and you can see me do sex things, or whatever it is they may be offering? Some people, for example, make most of their money from specifically tailored subscriber requests, whereas others are offering more general experiences such as access to their lewd photos and or videos. If YouTuber is a real job, if what people like Isaac Butterfield do is real content and real hard work, then so is sex work, and content posted to OnlyFans and similar sites. Likewise, if OnlyFans is not real content, then surely by definition neither is standing in front of a camera complaining about the most acceptable group of marginalised people to pick on this week whilst pretending not to be bigoted. Sorry, Isaac, but you have more in common with an OnlyFans model than basically any other job out there, including stand-up comedian, because, well, at least stand-up comedians tell jokes from time to time rather than just saying their opinion as if it's a joke. And I know this because when you do actually do stand-up comedy, you do tell jokes. Very bad, offensive jokes that rely on the premise that shocking equals funny, in the same way that 12-year-old boys think that saying naughty words is the height of comedy, just for some reason you decide not to do that online.
A wank, I think.
Hello everyone, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm experimenting a little bit with appearing on the screen, as you probably noticed, and I might be doing a little bit more going forward. For now though, I'm probably taking a bit of a break from this channel. I'm going to be working a bit on my history channel just so I can get a few videos on there, so it's not just the one, and it's less taxing on my mental health. So feel free to check that out. There'll be some videos coming on there in the near future, and of course you can like and subscribe to this channel, and you'll be seeing more of these videos in future as well. Now the link to all my Patreon and Twitter and all that sort of stuff is in the description. I should probably make a link tree, but I haven't got around to it yet. If you do want to support me, please feel free. I do really appreciate when people send me stuff over there. It is really, really very much appreciated. At the moment it's mostly going into funding my therapy, which is fun. But yeah, it is very much appreciated. If you donate $1 or more, you get your name displayed at the end of videos. As should be happening now, and you also get access to the secret Patreon section of the Discord. If you donate $2 or more, I'll read your name out at the end of the credits, which I'll do in a moment. And if you donate $5 or more, you actually get little behind the scenes updates and things. So you get the scripts when they're done, which is usually a week or so, or a couple of weeks before the video comes out. And you also get videos uploaded 2 days early. At least that's what I try to do. Most of the time it's about 1 day, but you do get the videos early. And yeah, a good time is had by all, I suppose. Anyway, today I would especially like to thank Elise the Mighty She-Beast, Aride, Bryden Beck, Chris Vagnacci, Deckard, Nanza Kambe. Next we have Brian, Oogity Boogity, Polite Pigeon, Stacey Solano, The Bulk, Tom Newport, and Oft Wears Hats. Thanks so much for watching everyone. I hope you have a good one, and I'll see you next time. Bye!